It's the dead of night. The world around you is silent, yet within your mind, there's a storm. There's a whisper, almost inaudible but persistent, gnawing at your consciousness. It's telling you something you've always known but have refused to acknowledge. You've been drifting through life. You've allowed circumstances, fears, and external expectations to dictate your path. And in that stillness of night, a terrifying realization dawns on you. You've settled. You've accepted less than you're capable of. You've allowed yourself to become pathetic. But this story doesn't end in despair. It's not a condemnation, but a revelation. Because the moment you realize you're not living up to your potential is the moment you can choose to change it. This is not about a quick fix or a motivational pep talk. This is about digging deep into your soul and confronting the hard truths that you've avoided for too long. It's about taking control of your life, embracing discomfort, and transforming your existence from one of quiet desperation to one of power, purpose, and fulfillment. Over the next 7 lessons, we will explore what it means to stop being pathetic, drawing on the wisdom of ancient philosophers and thinkers who have walked this path long before us. These lessons are not easy, but they are necessary. They demand self-honesty, discipline, and the courage to face your deepest fears. But if you commit to them, they will change your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. Let's begin. Lesson 1. The power of responsibility. Responsibility is the cornerstone of personal transformation. It is the foundation upon which all other virtues and strengths are built. Without responsibility, you are like a ship adrift in the ocean, subject to the whims of external forces. You are powerless, at the mercy of circumstances, other people, and random events. But the moment you take responsibility for your life, you reclaim your power. You become the captain of your ship, guiding it toward the destination of your choosing. This concept is deeply rooted in the teachings of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist who developed the philosophy of logotherapy. Frankl understood responsibility in the most profound way possible. In the horrors of the concentration camps, where everything was taken from him, his family, his dignity, his freedom, he realized that the one thing no one could take was his ability to choose his response. Frankl wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." This is the essence of responsibility. It's not about blaming yourself for everything that happens, but about recognizing that you always have a choice in how you respond. This understanding is what separates those who rise above adversity from those who are crushed by it. Responsibility is the key to freedom because it places your destiny back in your hands. Why is responsibility so important? Without it, you remain in a state of perpetual victimhood. When you blame others, your parents, your boss, society, you are essentially giving them control over your life. You are saying, "I am powerless to change because these external factors are responsible for my situation." But when you take responsibility, you say, "No matter what happens to me, I am the one who chooses how I respond. I am the one who will decide my future." This doesn't mean that life is fair. It doesn't mean that bad things won't happen to you. In fact, you can almost guarantee that life will throw challenges your way. But responsibility is about refusing to be defined by those challenges. It's about rising above them, using them as fuel for your growth rather than as excuses for your stagnation. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, embodied this idea in his writings. In his meditations, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Aurelius understood that the only thing we can truly control is our mind, our thoughts, our reactions, our decisions. Everything else is beyond our control. This is the heart of Stoic philosophy, to focus on what you can control and to let go of what you cannot. Let's delve deeper into the concept of responsibility. There are different layers to it, and understanding these layers can help you take full ownership of your life. 1. Personal responsibility. This is about taking control of your actions, your decisions, and your habits. It's easy to blame others for our failures, but true growth comes from looking inward. Are you procrastinating? Are you avoiding difficult conversations? Are you neglecting your health? These are all areas where you can take personal responsibility. Instead of blaming external factors, ask yourself, what can I do differently? How can I take ownership of this situation? 2. Moral responsibility. This goes beyond personal actions to how you engage with the world. Are you living in alignment with your values? Are you treating others with respect and integrity? Moral responsibility is about being accountable not only to yourself, but to the broader community. It's about making choices that reflect the kind of person you want to be, even when no one is watching. 3. Existential responsibility. This is the highest level of responsibility, the one that Frankl alluded to in his work. It's about taking responsibility for the meaning and purpose of your life. It's about realizing that you are the architect of your existence, and that no one else can define your purpose for you. This is perhaps the most challenging form of responsibility because it requires deep introspection and a willingness to confront the big questions. Why am I here? What is my purpose? How can I live a life that is true to my deepest values? How do you start taking responsibility? It begins with self-honesty. You must be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and ask the tough questions. Where have I been avoiding responsibility? What excuses have I been making? How have I allowed fear, laziness, or complacency to dictate my actions? This kind of self-reflection is not easy, but it is necessary for growth. Once you've identified the areas where you need to take more responsibility, the next step is action. Start small. Pick one area of your life where you've been playing the victim and take ownership of it. It could be your health, your finances, your relationships. Whatever it is, commit to making a change. This doesn't mean that you have to fix everything overnight. Responsibility is a practice, a habit that you build over time. But every small step you take in the direction of responsibility strengthens your sense of agency and empowers you to take even bigger steps in the future. Realize that responsibility is not a burden. It's a gift. It's the key to freedom, to self-mastery, to living a life that is truly your own. When you take responsibility, you are no longer at the mercy of external forces. You become the creator of your destiny, the architect of your future, and that is the most powerful position you can be in. Let's close this chapter with a question for reflection. Where in your life have you been avoiding responsibility? Take a moment to reflect on this, and commit to taking at least one step toward reclaiming your power in that area. Lesson 2. The value of discipline. Discipline is not a trait you are born with. It is a skill that is developed over time, forged in the fire of consistent effort and deliberate practice. Yet, in today's world, discipline is often undervalued and misunderstood. Many equate discipline with rigidity, with a lack of freedom, with a life devoid of joy. But this is a misconception. True discipline is not about restriction. It's about liberation. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of impulsivity, laziness, and distraction so that you can live a life that is aligned with your deepest values and highest goals. The ancient philosophers understood this well. The Stoics, in particular, emphasized the importance of self-discipline as the foundation of a virtuous and fulfilling life. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, taught that discipline is the key to mastering oneself. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This is a profound truth that many people fail to grasp. They believe that freedom is the absence of rules, the ability to do whatever they want, whenever they want. But this kind of freedom is an illusion. It is a trap that leads to chaos, dissatisfaction, and ultimately, a life of mediocrity. What is discipline, really? At its core, discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's the capacity to delay gratification, to resist temptation, to stay focused on your long-term goals rather than succumbing to short-term desires. Discipline is what allows you to push through discomfort, to persist in the face of challenges, to keep going when others give up. It is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. But discipline is not just about hard work. It's about self-control, about mastering your mind and emotions so that you can make choices that are in alignment with your highest values. This is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain stuck in mediocrity. It's not talent, luck, or even intelligence. It's discipline, the ability to consistently do the work, day after day, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Consider the example of Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher who also happened to be the Roman emperor. Despite his immense power and responsibilities, Aurelius practiced discipline in all areas of his life. He woke up early, trained his body and mind, and adhered to a strict code of conduct. He understood that discipline was not a burden, but a tool for living a life of virtue and purpose. In his meditations, he wrote, "Do not waste the remaining part of your life in thoughts about others, when you do not refer your thoughts to some object of common utility." This statement reflects the disciplined mindset of focusing on what truly matters, rather than being distracted by trivialities. Why is discipline so difficult for many people? The answer lies in our evolutionary wiring. As human beings, we are hardwired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. This served us well in the days when survival depended on immediate gratification, eating when food was available, resting when the opportunity arose, and avoiding unnecessary risks. But in the modern world, this wiring can work against us. With the constant availability of distractions, instant gratification, and endless entertainment, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking short-term pleasure at the expense of long-term fulfillment. This is why discipline is so essential. It's the mechanism by which we override our primal impulses and align our actions with our higher goals. Discipline is what allows you to say no to the things that don't serve you, even when they are tempting in the moment. It's what enables you to push through discomfort, to endure the pain of growth, and to stay focused on what truly matters. But how do you cultivate discipline? It starts with small actions. Discipline is like a muscle. It grows stronger with use. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. But just like with physical exercise, you don't start by lifting the heaviest weights. You start small, with manageable challenges, and gradually build up your strength over time. Here's a simple but powerful exercise to begin cultivating discipline. Identify one small habit that you can commit to every day for the next 30 days. It doesn't have to be a massive undertaking. It could be something as simple as making your bed every morning, doing 10 minutes of exercise, or spending 5 minutes in meditation. The key is consistency. By doing this one small thing every day, you are training your mind to follow through on commitments, to prioritize long-term benefits over short-term comfort. Over time, you can build on this foundation, adding more habits and challenges as your discipline muscle grows stronger. The important thing is to start small and stay consistent. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. And the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. There's another crucial aspect of discipline that often goes overlooked: self-compassion. Many people approach discipline with a harsh, all-or-nothing mentality. They believe that if they slip up or fail to follow through on their commitments, they've failed completely. But this kind of rigid thinking is counterproductive. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about making a little bit of progress every day, even if that progress is imperfect. When you approach discipline with self-compassion, you allow yourself to make mistakes without giving up. You recognize that setbacks are a natural part of the process, and that the most important thing is to keep moving forward. This mindset is crucial for long-term success. Because the truth is, discipline is not about never falling. It's about getting back up every time you do. Let's explore another layer of discipline. Discipline of thought. Many people focus solely on external discipline, doing the work, staying consistent, etc., but neglect the importance of disciplining their minds. Your thoughts shape your reality. If your mind is undisciplined, filled with negativity, doubt, and distraction, it will be much harder to stay on track with your goals. This is why mental discipline is just as important as physical discipline. Mental discipline involves training your mind to focus on what is productive, to stay present in the moment, and to let go of thoughts that do not serve you. It's about cultivating a mindset of resilience, optimism, and determination. One powerful practice for developing mental discipline is mindfulness meditation. By practicing mindfulness, you train your mind to stay focused, to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them, and to cultivate a sense of calm and clarity even in the midst of chaos. How do you integrate discipline into every aspect of your life? It starts with your mindset. Discipline is not something you do. It's a way of being. It's about approaching every area of your life with intention, with purpose, and with a commitment to excellence. Whether it's your work, your relationships, your health, or your personal growth, discipline is what allows you to stay aligned with your highest values and to live a life that is true to who you are. But discipline is not about rigidity. It's about balance. It's about knowing when to push yourself and when to rest, when to focus on the task at hand and when to step back and reflect. This balance is what allows you to sustain discipline over the long term, to avoid burnout, and to continue growing in a way that is healthy and fulfilling. To close this chapter, let's reflect on a question. Where in your life do you need more discipline? Take a moment to think about this and identify one area where you can start practicing discipline today. Remember, it's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about taking small, consistent steps toward becoming the person you want to be. Lesson 3. The importance of purpose. Purpose is the driving force behind a meaningful life. It's what gives you direction, motivation, and a sense of fulfillment. Without purpose, you are like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly through life, susceptible to the whims of external forces. But with purpose, you have a clear destination, a reason to wake up each morning, and the strength to overcome obstacles along the way. Friedrich Nietzsche famously said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." This statement captures the essence of purpose. When you have a strong sense of why you are doing something, you can endure almost any hardship. Purpose gives you the strength to keep going, even when the journey is difficult, even when the rewards are not immediate. But what is purpose, really? And how do you find it? Purpose is not some grand, mystical revelation that suddenly appears in your life. It's not a lightning bolt of inspiration that strikes out of nowhere. Rather, purpose is something that you discover over time, through introspection, reflection, and action. It's about aligning your life with your deepest values, with what truly matters to you. Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, believed that the ultimate purpose of human life is eudaimonia, a state of flourishing and well-being that comes from living in accordance with reason and virtue. For Aristotle, purpose was about fulfilling your potential as a human being, about living a life that is true to your nature and your highest ideals. This idea of purpose as fulfillment is echoed in the work of modern psychologists like Abraham Maslow, who developed the concept of self-actualization. Maslow believed that the highest level of human motivation is the desire to realize your full potential, to become the best version of yourself. This is what purpose is all about: finding what makes you come alive, what gives your life meaning, and then pursuing that with all your heart. But finding your purpose is not always easy. In fact, for many people, it can be one of the most challenging and elusive goals in life. This is because purpose is deeply personal. It's not something that can be handed to you by society, by your parents, or by anyone else. It's something that you must discover for yourself, through your own experiences, reflections, and choices. One of the biggest obstacles to finding purpose is the fear of uncertainty. Many people are afraid to pursue their true purpose because they are afraid of the unknown. They fear failure, rejection, and disappointment. They worry that if they take a risk and follow their passion, they might end up worse off than if they had just stuck with a safe, conventional path. But this fear is misplaced, because the truth is, the only way to truly fail in life is to never pursue your purpose in the first place. As the philosopher Søren Kierkegaard once said, "To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself." Purpose requires courage. It requires the willingness to take risks, to step outside your comfort zone, and to embrace the uncertainty of the unknown. So how do you find your purpose? It begins with self-exploration. You must be willing to ask yourself the big questions. What do I truly care about? What makes me come alive? What do I want to contribute to the world? These are not easy questions, and the answers may not come right away. But by engaging in this process of self-inquiry, you begin to uncover the threads of your purpose. One powerful exercise for discovering your purpose is to reflect on your passions, your strengths, and your values. Ask yourself, what activities or pursuits bring me the most joy and fulfillment? What am I naturally good at? What do I care deeply about? By identifying these core elements, you can begin to see patterns and connections that point to your purpose. But purpose is not just about self-discovery, it's also about action. You cannot find your purpose by simply thinking about it or waiting for it to appear. You must actively engage with the world, try new things, take risks, and learn from your experiences. Purpose is something that is revealed through action, through the process of trial and error, through the pursuit of what matters most to you. One of the key aspects of purpose is that it is not static. It evolves over time. Your purpose in life may change as you grow and develop, as you gain new experiences and insights. This is why it's important to stay flexible and open-minded as you navigate your journey. Don't be afraid to let go of old ideas about what your purpose should be and embrace new possibilities. Remember, purpose is not a destination, it's a journey. Another important aspect of purpose is that it is not just about you, it's about something larger than yourself. True purpose is about making a positive impact on the world, about contributing to something that is greater than your individual desires and needs. This is what gives purpose its power. When you are driven by a mission that is bigger than yourself, you are able to tap into a deeper well of motivation and resilience. This idea is reflected in the teachings of the philosopher Albert Camus, who wrote about the concept of the absurd, the idea that life is inherently meaningless, and that it is up to each individual to create their own meaning. For Camus, purpose was not something that was handed down from the universe, but something that we must create for ourselves through our actions and choices. He believed that the way to overcome the absurdity of life was to embrace it fully, to live with passion, integrity, and commitment to a cause that matters to you. So how do you live a life of purpose? It starts with a mindset shift. You must stop thinking of purpose as something that will magically appear in your life and start seeing it as something that you create through your choices, your actions, and your commitments. Purpose is not a passive experience. It's an active process of engagement with the world. It's about taking ownership of your life and deciding what you want to stand for, what you want to contribute, and how you want to be remembered. But living a life of purpose also requires persistence. There will be times when the path is difficult, when you face obstacles, setbacks, and doubts. There will be times when you question whether it's all worth it. But this is where the power of purpose comes in. When you are deeply connected to your why, you can endure almost anyhow. Purpose gives you the strength to keep going, even when the journey is tough. Purpose is not just a personal pursuit, it's a social one. Your purpose is not just about fulfilling your own desires, it's about contributing to the well-being of others. Whether it's through your work, your relationships, or your community, living a life of purpose means making a positive impact on the world around you. This is what gives purpose its depth and meaning. When you know that your life is making a difference, you are able to experience a deeper sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. Let's close this chapter with a reflection. What is your purpose? This may be a question that takes time to answer, and that's okay. But take a moment to reflect on what matters most to you, what brings you joy and fulfillment, and how you can start living in alignment with your purpose today. Certainly. Here are more detailed lessons that build on the narrative style, focusing on deep insights and reflections. This will continue from where we left off. Lesson 4. Mastery over emotions. Imagine a ship at sea, caught in the midst of a powerful storm. The wind howls, the waves crash, and the vessel is tossed about like a toy. But at the helm stands a calm, experienced captain who knows that, no matter how fierce the storm, he must keep control of the ship if they are to survive. Your emotions are like that storm, and you are the captain. If you allow your emotions to control you, you will be tossed about by every wave of anger, fear, or desire. But if you learn to master your emotions, you can steer your life with purpose and intention. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This speaks to the power of emotions to cloud our judgment and distort our perception of reality. Often, it is not the external events themselves that cause us distress, but our emotional reactions to them. This is why emotional mastery is so crucial. It allows you to see things as they truly are, without the distortion of unchecked emotions. But what does it mean to master your emotions? Mastery over emotions does not mean suppressing or ignoring them. Emotions are a natural part of the human experience, and they carry important information. Anger can alert you to injustice, fear can signal danger, and even sadness can lead to healing and growth. Emotional mastery is about acknowledging your emotions without being controlled by them. It's about feeling your emotions fully, but responding to them with wisdom rather than impulsiveness. One of the most powerful tools for mastering your emotions is mindfulness. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to observe your emotions without becoming entangled in them. You create space between the emotion and your reaction, allowing you to choose a response that aligns with your values and goals. When anger arises, for example, instead of immediately lashing out, you can pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what is the best way to handle this situation? This practice can be life-changing, transforming your relationships, your decision-making, and your overall well-being. Another key aspect of emotional mastery is understanding that emotions are transient. No emotion, no matter how intense, lasts forever. This insight can be incredibly liberating. When you are in the grip of a strong emotion, whether it's anger, fear, or sadness, it can feel all-consuming, as if it will last forever. But if you can remind yourself that this too shall pass, you gain a sense of perspective and control. You realize that you don't have to act on every emotion that arises. You can let it come and go, like a passing storm. How do you cultivate emotional mastery? Start by developing self-awareness. Pay attention to your emotional triggers, those situations, people, or thoughts that tend to provoke strong emotional reactions. Notice how your body responds to different emotions. Does your heart race with anxiety? Do your fists clench with anger? By becoming more aware of your emotional responses, you can begin to interrupt the automatic patterns and choose more deliberate actions. Another powerful practice is emotional detachment. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or apathetic. but rather cultivating a sense of inner calm that is not easily disturbed by external events. The Stoics called this apatheia, which is often misunderstood as a lack of feeling, but it actually refers to a state of equanimity, a calm, centered mind that is not ruled by emotions. This doesn't mean you won't feel emotions, but rather that you won't be overwhelmed by them. You will be able to remain calm and composed, even in the face of life's challenges. A practical way to develop this detachment is through cognitive reframing. When a strong emotion arises, take a step back and ask yourself, is this emotion based on reality, or is it a product of my thoughts and perceptions? Often, you will find that your emotions are being fueled by assumptions, interpretations, or stories that may not be entirely accurate. By questioning these thoughts, you can diffuse the intensity of the emotion and respond more rationally. Emotional mastery also involves learning from your emotions. Every emotion has something to teach you. Anger, for example, may be a sign that your boundaries have been violated or that something important to you is at stake. Instead of reacting impulsively, take the time to understand what your anger is telling you. Is there an action you need to take to protect yourself or assert your needs? Or is your anger based on a misunderstanding or a false assumption? By examining your emotions with curiosity and openness, you can gain valuable insights and use them to guide your actions more effectively. Ultimately, emotional mastery is about developing a relationship with your emotions that is grounded in awareness, wisdom, and intentionality. It's about recognizing that while you cannot always control what emotions arise, you can control how you respond to them. And in that response lies your power. Let's close this chapter with a reflection. What emotions tend to control you the most? How can you start cultivating mastery over them today? Remember, emotional mastery is a lifelong practice. It's not about achieving perfection, but about making steady progress toward greater awareness, control, and resilience. Lesson 5. The power of resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to endure hardship, and to keep moving forward even when life knocks you down. It is one of the most important qualities you can cultivate if you want to stop being pathetic and start living with strength and purpose. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and disappointments. But resilience allows you to face these difficulties with courage, to learn from them, and to emerge stronger on the other side. The ancient Stoics had a powerful concept called amor fati, which means love of fate. It is the idea that we should not only accept what happens to us, but embrace it fully, as if we had chosen it. This mindset is the key to resilience. Instead of resisting or resenting the challenges life throws your way, you learn to see them as opportunities for growth and development. You recognize that adversity is not something to be feared, but something to be welcomed as part of the process of becoming the person you were meant to be. But how do you develop resilience in the face of life's inevitable challenges? One of the first steps is to shift your perspective on adversity. Many people see challenges as problems to be avoided or endured, but resilience requires a different mindset. You must begin to see adversity as a teacher, as a necessary part of your journey towards strength and wisdom. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to develop your character, to test your limits, and to discover your inner resources. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the essence of resilience. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. When you are faced with a setback, you have a choice. You can either let it defeat you, or you can use it as a stepping stone to greater strength and wisdom. Resilience is about choosing the latter. One powerful practice for cultivating resilience is to develop a strong sense of purpose, as we discussed in the previous chapter. When you are clear about your purpose, you are better able to withstand the storms of life because you have a reason to keep going. Purpose gives you the strength to endure hardship, to persevere in the face of obstacles, and to keep moving forward even when the path is difficult. Another important aspect of resilience is flexibility. Many people equate resilience with toughness, with an unyielding determination to push through no matter what. But true resilience is not about being rigid or inflexible. It's about being adaptable, about bending without breaking. Just as a tree that sways in the wind is more likely to survive a storm than one that stands rigid and unyielding, so too are you more likely to endure life's challenges if you are willing to adapt and adjust. How do you cultivate this kind of flexibility? It starts with letting go of attachment to specific outcomes. Often, we suffer not because of the events themselves, but because we are attached to a particular outcome that didn't materialize. We wanted things to go a certain way, and when they didn't, we resist reality and become stuck in frustration and disappointment. Flexibility requires you to let go of your attachment to how things should be, and instead embrace how things are. It's about being open to change, to new possibilities, and to the idea that life may unfold in ways that you didn't expect, but that can still lead to growth and fulfillment. A practical way to develop this flexibility is through mental rehearsals. Imagine different scenarios in which things don't go as planned. How would you respond? By mentally preparing yourself for the possibility of setbacks, you can reduce the shock and disappointment when they do occur, and you can approach them with a more resilient mindset. This doesn't mean being pessimistic or expecting the worst, but rather being realistic and prepared to handle whatever comes your way. Resilience also requires self-care. It's difficult to bounce back from adversity if you are physically, mentally, or emotionally depleted. Taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep, eating well, exercising, and managing stress is essential for building resilience. When you are strong and healthy, you are better equipped to face life's challenges and to recover from setbacks. Another key element of resilience is community. No one can go through life's challenges alone, and having a strong support network is crucial for building resilience. Whether it's family, friends, mentors, or a community of like-minded individuals, surrounding yourself with people who can offer support, encouragement, and perspective is essential. These connections not only provide emotional support, but they also remind you that you are not alone in your struggles. Sharing your experiences with others and learning from their experiences can help you build resilience and navigate challenges more effectively. One of the most important aspects of resilience is learning to forgive yourself. We all make mistakes, and we all experience failures. But resilience requires you to move past these setbacks and to avoid getting stuck in guilt, shame, or self-blame. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean ignoring your mistakes or failing to learn from them. It means accepting that you are human, that you will make mistakes, and that those mistakes do not define your worth or your future potential. Finally, resilience requires a long-term perspective. In the moment, a setback or failure can feel overwhelming, but resilience is about seeing the bigger picture. It's about recognizing that this challenge is just one chapter in your story, and that your life is much larger than this one event. Keeping this long-term perspective allows you to maintain hope and optimism, even in the face of difficulty. It reminds you that no matter how tough things are right now, they will not last forever, and that you have the strength to keep going. Resilience is a skill that can be developed through practice and intention. It's about cultivating a mindset that embraces adversity as a part of life, that sees challenges as opportunities for growth, and that remains flexible, adaptable, and hopeful in the face of setbacks. By developing resilience, you not only stop being pathetic, you become a force to be reckoned with, someone who can weather any storm and come out stronger on the other side. Let's close this chapter with a reflection. Asterisk, what challenges have you faced in your life, and how have you responded to them? How can you cultivate greater resilience in the face of future challenges? Asterisk, remember, resilience is not about avoiding difficulties, but about learning to thrive in spite of them. Lesson 6. The art of self-discipline. Self-discipline is not just a personal trait, but a powerful force that shapes the trajectory of your life. It is the ability to make yourself do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. In a world full of distractions and instant gratification, self-discipline is the key to staying focused on your long-term goals and living a life of purpose and strength. Without self-discipline, all the wisdom and knowledge you acquire will be meaningless because you won't have the drive to implement them consistently. Self-discipline is often misunderstood. Many people see it as a form of self-denial or punishment, but in reality, it is the ultimate form of self-care. By practicing discipline, you are making a conscious choice to invest in your future self. You are choosing to endure short-term discomfort for long-term gain. This mindset shift is crucial if you want to master the art of self-discipline. Instead of viewing it as something restrictive, see it as a tool that empowers you to achieve your highest potential. Jocko Willink, a retired Navy SEAL officer and leadership expert, famously said, "Discipline equals freedom." This phrase encapsulates the paradoxical nature of discipline. At first glance, discipline might seem like a form of restriction, but in reality, it liberates you. When you are disciplined, you are in control of your actions, choices, and, ultimately, your life. You are not a slave to your impulses, emotions, or external circumstances. You have the freedom to choose how you respond to challenges and setbacks. This freedom is the essence of a strong and purposeful life. To build self-discipline, you must start by understanding your why. Why do you want to be disciplined? What are you trying to achieve? Your why is your anchor. It gives you the strength to stay committed to your path when things get tough. Without a clear sense of purpose, discipline can feel like a burdensome chore. But when you have a strong why, discipline becomes a natural extension of your commitment to your goals. Next, it's essential to set clear and realistic goals. Self-discipline thrives on clarity. When you know exactly what you want to achieve and why, it's easier to stay focused and avoid distractions. Break down your goals into smaller, manageable steps and create a plan of action. This will help you maintain momentum and stay disciplined even when the going gets tough. Remember, the journey to self-discipline is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires consistency and perseverance. One practical way to cultivate self-discipline is through the practice of habit formation. Habits are the building blocks of discipline. They automate your actions and make it easier to stay consistent over time. Start with small, manageable habits that align with your goals. For example, if you want to improve your physical fitness, commit to exercising for just 10 minutes a day. Over time, as this habit becomes ingrained, you can gradually increase the intensity and duration. The key is to start small and build momentum. Another powerful tool for building self-discipline is the practice of delayed gratification. In a world where everything is available at the push of a button, the ability to delay gratification is a rare and valuable skill. It means choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasures. It means saying no to that tempting dessert because you are committed to your health goals. It means resisting the urge to procrastinate because you are focused on achieving your dreams. The more you practice delayed gratification, the stronger your self-discipline becomes. Self-discipline also involves setting boundaries, both with yourself and with others. This means knowing your limits and being clear about what you will and will not tolerate. It means saying no to distractions, temptations, and toxic influences that pull you away from your goals. Boundaries protect your focus, energy, and commitment to your path. They help you stay aligned with your values and purpose. One of the most effective ways to maintain self-discipline is through accountability. Find a mentor, coach, or accountability partner who can provide guidance, support, and honest feedback. When someone else is holding you accountable, you are more likely to stay committed to your goals. Similarly, use tools like journals, checklists, or habit trackers to monitor your progress and keep yourself on track. Accountability creates a sense of responsibility and helps you stay disciplined even when motivation wanes. It's important to remember that self-discipline is not about perfection. It's about progress. There will be days when you falter, when you give in to temptation or fail to follow through on a commitment. This is natural and part of the process. What matters is how you respond to these setbacks. Do you let them derail you, or do you use them as opportunities to learn and grow stronger? Cultivate a mindset of resilience and persistence, where you see setbacks not as failures but as feedback. Adjust your approach, recommit to your goals, and keep moving forward. Ultimately, self-discipline is about creating a life of intentionality and purpose. It's about taking control of your destiny and becoming the person you were meant to be. It's about living with integrity, aligning your actions with your values, and consistently doing what is right, even when it's hard. The art of self-discipline is the foundation upon which a strong and purposeful life is built. Lesson 7. The courage to take action. All the knowledge, wisdom, and discipline in the world are useless without the courage to take action. Action is the catalyst that turns dreams into reality. It is the difference between wishing for a better life and actually creating one. If you want to stop being pathetic and start living with purpose and strength, you must develop the habit of taking bold, decisive action. This lesson is about embracing courage, overcoming fear, and stepping into the arena to face life's challenges head-on. The philosopher and Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This statement is a powerful reminder that while you may not have control over the external world, you have complete control over your actions and reactions. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to act in spite of it. It is about taking responsibility for your life and making choices that align with your values, even when it is uncomfortable or risky. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles to taking action. It paralyzes you and keeps you stuck in a cycle of inaction and self-doubt. But fear is also a natural part of the human experience. Everyone feels fear, but not everyone lets it dictate their actions. The key to overcoming fear is to understand that it is just an emotion, a signal that you are stepping out of your comfort zone. Instead of trying to eliminate fear, learn to dance with it. Acknowledge it, feel it, and then take action anyway. One of the most effective ways to build courage is to start small. When faced with a daunting task or decision, break it down into smaller, manageable steps. Each small action you take builds momentum, and momentum creates confidence. For example, if you want to start your own business, don't focus on the entire process at once. Start by researching your industry, creating a business plan, or networking with potential clients. Each step you take will reduce your fear and increase your belief in your ability to succeed. Another important aspect of taking action is embracing failure as part of the journey. Many people are afraid to take action because they fear failure. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Every successful person has experienced failure, often multiple times. The difference is that they use failure as a stepping stone to greater success. They learn from their mistakes, adjust their approach, and keep moving forward. Failure is feedback. It shows you what doesn't work so you can find out what does. The story of Thomas Edison is a perfect example of this principle. When asked about his countless failed attempts to invent the light bulb, Edison famously replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset is the essence of courage. It's about being willing to fail, to learn from those failures, and to keep taking action until you achieve your goal. Courageous people see failure as a teacher, not a threat. Taking action also requires decisiveness. Indecision is a form of inaction. When you are indecisive, you are stuck in a state of analysis paralysis, where you are constantly weighing options but never moving forward. The antidote to indecision is commitment. Make a choice and commit to it fully. Even if it turns out to be the wrong choice, you will learn valuable lessons that will help you make better decisions in the future. The worst decision is often no decision at all. Another critical component of taking action is adopting a ready, fire, aim mindset. This means that instead of waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan, you take action first and then adjust your approach as you go. Many people fall into the trap of perfectionism, where they spend so much time planning and preparing that they never actually take action. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. There is no perfect plan. The only way to learn and improve is by doing. Take action, get feedback, and adjust your course. It's also essential to surround yourself with action-oriented people. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your behavior. If you are surrounded by people who are constantly taking action, challenging themselves, and pushing their limits, you will be inspired to do the same. Conversely, if you are surrounded by people who are complacent, fearful, or resistant to change, you will likely adopt those same attitudes. Seek out mentors, coaches, and peers who embody the courage to take action and learn from their example. Lastly, remember that taking action is not about never feeling fear, doubt, or uncertainty. It's about feeling those emotions and choosing to act anyway. It's about having the courage to step into the unknown, to take risks, and to trust that you have the strength and resilience to handle whatever comes your way. The more you practice taking action, the more your confidence will grow, and the less power fear will have over you. Taking action is the ultimate expression of your power. It is how you turn your dreams into reality and create the life you desire. It is where you confront your fears, push your limits, and discover what you are truly capable of. The courage to take action is the final lesson in transforming yourself from a state of weakness and indecision to one of strength, purpose, and relentless forward momentum. Conclusion: embrace the journey of transformation. In this journey of self-transformation, we have explored the essential pillars of strength, purpose, and resilience that are necessary to break free from the chains of a mediocre existence. It's time to rise above the comfortable confines of passivity, fear, and self-doubt and become the person you were meant to be: strong, purposeful, and unapologetically driven. The first step is recognizing where you are and committing to change. Understand that being pathetic is not a permanent state but a wake-up call, a powerful moment of self-awareness that demands action. From there, it's about reclaiming your power and becoming the architect of your own destiny. No more excuses, no more blaming others, no more waiting for the perfect moment. You must seize control, take responsibility, and make the decision to live life on your own terms. We delved into the art of self-mastery, the realization that your mind is your greatest tool and also your biggest obstacle. By learning to control your thoughts, emotions, and habits, you lay the foundation for a life of strength and integrity. Remember, discipline is not a punishment. It is a form of freedom. It is what separates those who dream from those who do. It is the bridge between your goals and your reality. Through these lessons, you've been reminded that failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Each setback is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to grow stronger. The journey is not about achieving perfection, but about making progress. It's about waking up each day with a relentless commitment to improve, no matter how small the steps may seem. Every action you take, no matter how imperfect, brings you closer to your goals. The importance of embracing discomfort, developing unshakable self-discipline, and cultivating resilience cannot be overstated. The world is full of distractions, negativity, and easy routes that lead nowhere. But the path of strength, purpose, and courage is the road less traveled, and that is where you will find your true self. It is a path filled with challenges, but those challenges are where growth happens. They are where strength is forged. The final lesson is perhaps the most crucial: the courage to take action. Without action, all your knowledge, wisdom, and discipline are useless. It's time to step out of the shadows of hesitation and into the arena of life. Do not let fear paralyze you. Do not let doubt deter you. You are more powerful than you think. Take the leap, make the bold choice, and trust that you have what it takes to succeed. Your journey of transformation is not a destination, but a continual evolution. There will always be new challenges to face, new mountains to climb, and new limits to push. But that's the beauty of life, to continuously strive to become better, stronger, and more aligned with your true purpose. The transformation from weakness to strength, from mediocrity to greatness, from fear to courage is a lifelong pursuit. It's a battle you must fight every single day, but it is a battle worth fighting. So, rise up and own your life. Stop being pathetic. Start living with purpose and strength. Be relentless in your pursuit of greatness. Be disciplined in your daily actions, and be courageous in facing your fears. The power is within you. The time is now. Go out there and become the strongest version of yourself, because the world needs people like you, and more importantly, you need you to be the best that you can be. The journey has just begun.